You telling lies.
Yeah,
Friend.
yeah.
If you are in the library on a Friday at a HBCU, you have a project. You have an assignment due on Monday, and you have done nothing. That is why you're there. I should stop that. But
You want to know the loneliest looking place on Howard's campus? Let me tell you something. After a football game, once fall hits, and like for us, in my fraternity, we go out on Omegas, we go out to the sundial, and after the game, we would do the dial again, and the sun's starting to come down, and if it's late, the sun starts to come down, and when you start leaving campus, bro, the loneliest place on campus is looking up at the library. When I say that place looks like it has no one in it, it looks like it has no one, bro.
It looks
on a Saturday night. Wow.
It looks like it's lonely because it is lonely.
Every once in a while, you might see one head up there, and you know that one head is somebody who they got to get this done. Or they got a big test. They got to get something done.
Man, on Saturday.
It's not because they want to be there.
Saturday on the fall campus at Howard, there are two people in the library. One in the main library and one in Founders. And they both got keys.
Librarians.
They librarians. They got keys. Sitting around there talking to themselves like ain't nobody coming in there unless he's desperate, bro. It's just not happening. But she comes in there and she just says, Dwayne needs some space. And Dwayne is like, okay, I need space. Space. You got a little space. I understand you got your study. And he lets her be or whatever.
Upset. I'm trying to play it off. I really can.
I'm trying to play it off. I'm cool. Suzanne walks by and runs into Whitley, who looks at her and says, how you doing? And looks at her hand and it's like season. There's no ring there. Even Suzanne looks at her like, why are you holding my hand like that? And then she goes over to Dwayne like, I saw Suzanne's little naked hand. What's going on? And he says, the woman needs space. She needs space. And Whitley says, what
that means.
The woman needs space means, Dwayne, this space is occupado. I was like, oh,
and at the time, we thought it was occupied by the alpha.
Yeah. And then she just she just hugs Dwayne and starts to kiss him, and then Dwayne's like, "Girl, what is wrong with you?" It's like, I'm sorry, but I like Suzanne, and she says, "I don't want you."
Can you read the room?
I don't want you, you ninny. Trying to make her jealous.
I wanted Whitley to say, "Can you read the room?" Damn.
It would have been perfect. Can you read the room? If that phrase was out, that would be perfect for it. It would have. We go to Gilbert Hall lobby. Jaleesa is sitting down on the sofa. Walter comes by and to pick her up, and he says, Dean Hewlett called, canceled your meeting with that student. And I wanted to say, Jaleesa, it wasn't a meeting with the student. He was meeting with Dean Hewlett. You're in your feelings right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I knew. She says, I was Sheila.
Something about Walter's goofiness at this point is very funny.
It is. It's like, I knew the whole time. And she's like,
I know the joke too.
But it also was kind of
like
very
cartoonish.
It was cartoonish and like somebody who might have really been lying. That's what it comes across, like somebody who might have been lying. I knew the whole time. Yeah, but Jaleesa's kind of warm. It's like, yeah, whatever. You knew. I think you need to go on with yourself. He said, oh, really? And he says, ladies and gentlemen, for his only preference, Walter and the Coconuts. And Walter walks out, and
that was funny, bro.
Three guys. One got on a big Hawaiian hat. Others
like the Hawaiian Punch Man.
Yeah, and they come in
more like a Hawaiian Punch kid.
One dude got maracas, And one dude got a conga, and they said, Sheila is Jalisa. Jalisa is Sheila. Sheila is Delisha. But if you listen, there's words to it. It's like, he knew the whole time. He knew the whole time. But then what makes it really funny is Walter comes in with a horrible dreadlock wig.
Yes. That was pretty good, bro.
He can't dance. Oh, my God.
Sheila is Jalisa. Sheila is Jalisa.
And man, Jalisa is caught big time. Like, you look dumb. Like that's what he said. I wanted to say, you look dumb, huh?
And there's no way around it because there's no way that these three guys know anything about a Sheila and Jalisa.
Yes. And she just like, I want to say, you look dumb, right? you look real. That's what you like, real dumb. We go back to the pit. It is Valentine's Day. And Kim and Freddie are dateless and moaning and groaning. But Vernon Gaines ain't having it. Y'all still moping. He yells to the pit. He just says, who ain't got no dates? Who don't have a date tonight? And a dude, and I don't even know how to describe him, this short brother stands up. And you will see this brother again in this episode, but in future episodes. He's
that's my boy. I know the boy's name.
I wish I could tell you his name, but he's an extra. He's like a featured extra. Like I swear to God, every episode you're gonna be like, there he is again. But whatever happened, I don't even know if this was planned, but I think when they were blocking these scenes, and the first time, because Dwayne. Wait, this is the first time. The first time is this right here when he says, anybody got a date and he stands up? And what does Vernon say to him? I'm trying to remember what he said. God, what did he tell? He stands up. No, you better. He said, will anybody have a date? And he stands up and does this in front of Vernon. Vernon said, you better sit down. You better sit. I was like, I watched that. I was like, that was so cold, bro. Like, he genuinely did not have a date. He's like, you just said no. I don't want you going. I don't want you with Kim or Freddie. I don't really know Freddie that well, but I'd rather you not be with any one of them. I thought that was so mean. But then he sees two other dudes. They raise their hand, and it's like, can you dance? And one of them does something in his seat. And he said, well, I
don't recall that part ever.
Me either. But when he says, well, after you have a fit, you can dance.
Mr. Gaines, man. Hey, man, six man award.
He tells them, you two, go get dressed. Y'all got dates. And he tells them, I know where you live. Don't touch him.
Man, I'd be like, man, don't worry about you.
Suzanne enters, hey, what's up, baby? How you doing? I ain't with this. Dwayne's like, hold on. Look, I ain't with this space thing. Then what do you want? I want us to be together or we done. Okay. Bruh. That's that moment. All brothers have done that. Look, you gotta lay the line. Your boys didn't want you. Look, man, you need to lay the line down.
You lay the line. Look what happened. Be careful, because you might get that answer you didn't want.
He said, we gonna be together or we done. All right. It was like, wait. Dwayne was like, wait, slow the roll. And he just explains that, I just don't want to be like this. I like you, but I could. I mean, this is my translation. I like you, but I could find somebody else I could like better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I could like somebody else better. That's all. But
Suzanne, hey.
I need you to hang on to.
I like you, but
it's basically. I got this vine, but I see another vine. And I'm catching with it.
I mean, you ain't the only person. Yeah.
And they basically break up. we go back to Gilbert Hall. Whitley is on the lobby phone with Derek, her date, to find out that he is canceling their date. I'm thinking
Whitley
that
seems to have a lot of canceled dates.
she does. And I think it came to the point where he's like, "How much money am I spending to go down to Virginia to not get?"
No, he was already planning. Like this was already in the works. I think what happened was he might have mentioned it to one of his. He was out there at Harvard with those friends. He might have been on the phone with his boys, and they was like, "You doing what? Going what?" And you don't know what the outcome is.
Did he pull a Martin? GTD. GTD.
That's a draw. It's a draw.
Bruh, is you GTD? What? What?
He said, "Your Honor, yeah, what? Have this man speak up." Now, what does GTD stand for? Got the drawers, okay? Got the drawers. Hey, bro, why Tommy pull out some drawers, bro? How you just pull out some drawers?
Yeah.
He pulled out the drawers. Like, I got the drawers. I got the drawers.
It's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous that he did that. But like I say, they canceled the date. Dwayne enters. He has his box of chocolates and he gives it to Whitley because he ain't got no date. But then he finds out that Whitley ain't got a date either. And they kind of sitting there with the chocolates and they're talking about the discussion of levels. Like, here you go. You canceled your date. Ooh, here's a box of chocolates. And they talking about, yeah, I broke it off with Susan. Okay, we kind of mutually broke it off. Okay, she broke up with me. And then he said, "Well, maybe you need these chocolates more than me." They basically have a mutual understanding. They're both in the same situation. Whitley's about to go. They're just being honest about their Valentine's Day. And Dwayne's like, "Whitley, you think you might want to go watch a movie about the Russian Navy?"
Ooh, let's back it.
Man, before he goes to Kanishiwa, Dwayne has this just fixation with going and watch weird movies.
What are these weird movies showing up on campus?
Yeah, at Howard, like they just, at this time, I don't think they'd be showing.
Howard, they would show movies. Howard showed. I remember freshman year, Howard showed this movie called Judgment Night or something, and it had
Cuba Gooding Jr.
It had Cuba Gooding Jr. and I think Ice-T and like I can't remember your boy's name. He thinks he's a comedian. He's kind of an idiot. No, he's not an idiot.
I remember they had a soundtrack. They had a soundtrack.
They did have a soundtrack.
They had a soundtrack that combined.
They were passing out CDs on campus. They were passing out singles.
Yeah, and it was a combination, I think, of hip hop and rock. I swear they had hip hop and rock groups because De La had a song on that album. Yeah, I remember that.
They did Judgment Night. They also did Who's the Man with Dre and Dre from
Ed Lover.
MTV Raps Dre and Ed Lover. Yeah. And also Friday, before Friday came out.
Really?
Yeah, that was 95. I missed that one. I was doing some other things.
That's a hell of a what you call it right there.
Oh yeah.
That was a good get right there.
Hey, let's go check out this movie Friday for free. What? What's this?
Hey. They agreed with like I said, Dwayne asked Whitley to go to see this movie. She's like, sure. But if anybody asks, Derek is in the restroom.
Okay.
They leave out. He's standing there, and Whitley walks by and kisses him on the lips, and he's like,
"The first
of many. It is a harbinger of things to come."
Yeah.
And she walks out, and
you could tell how fast Dwayne forgot about Suzanne.
He did, but then he was met by your boy Short Stuff.
Your boy walked in, shaking his head. Why he coming shaking his head at him, bro?
Who you think you are? But you know what? We didn't mention that in that scene in the pit, he had another scene with Dwayne. He looked at Dwayne. He was like, "What you looking at?" Because Dwayne, after Susan broke up with him, he looked across the room and your boy was staring at. What you looking at? Oh my God! Which is what made this even funnier than what it really was. Man, yeah, that was basically the episode. This dude, we're gonna see him a few more times in the next couple of years. Let me state, the Blacklog is sponsored by Fade to Black Funerals. Death is a part of life, so put life into your loved one's death at Fade to Black Funeral Homes with t-shirt printing and tattoo artists on site to commemorate your loved ones. Fade to Black. Most HBCU thing. I'll be honest.
I just had someone falling for a frat dude. I mean, it's not really a big thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I was.
But it could go across any lines. Someone falling for a dude on the football team. Someone falling for somebody on the basketball team. Like, it could go across the line. It just so happens that in this episode, or at the time when we thought it was an alpha.
Yeah.
At the time.
Most HBCU thing. An alpha wearing a Jerry curl, because that just don't happen. White cam, I don't know. I really was searching in this. I'm really searching, it, which is a compliment to the HBCU. People thought that this show was so different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God,
oh yeah,
HBCU. Yeah. But we're just college students. That's all. We just happen to be a historically black college because, well, there was racism. And
Yep.
we had to create our own school.
Little bitty thing called racism.
That's all. We're just college